Hey, this is Heather. So, do you have any do you ever get into names of angels? I've known people who before that are like, this is the angel that you ask when, you know, you need to get something done quick. And this is the one that you ask when you do this. And I've never gone there. I just sort of feel more like connecting with my personal guardian angels. I don't necessarily know if they have names or if that's important. I wonder if you could speak to that, and I'll leave the floor.
I have always connected to what I would say is angelic consciousness. Of course, there are times when those beings show up in more of an individual rather than a collective form. But I have always been taught from spirit that we are praying to God and that the angels uplift our prayers, or they add to our prayers, or they can kind of bring certain soul qualities that they have to us and to our prayers. So it's not necessarily that they're really answering our prayers so much as they are helping to fuel them and to uplift them and to assure them. But they do have different felt qualities if they do tend to show up in individual form. That has only happened at, maybe a handful of times in my life. I would say more often than not, I'm always praying to God and the angels, which to me is a whole host of beings that are divinely guided and, do not have the free will that humans have. So they are always doing, what is in the divine plan.
Thank you for that.
And it's been my experience that there are earth angels and there are also what we might call more angels of a spiritual or soulful realm. And we can connect in with all of those different frequencies, just by asking them to reveal themselves to us.
I had an experience with my kitty being so sick and almost dying last week. And I just want to seriously thank everybody on here that was sending prayers her way, because I'm happy to say that she's got the spark back in her eye and she made it. And she really probably wasn't going to. So save but for the glory of God, as you said, Marsh. But nevertheless, I had a thought come to me when I was trying to help her and we didn't know what was wrong, and they just kept running all these crazy expensive tests, and I'm like, if only she could just ask me for exactly what she needs. If only she could just tell me what she wants, I would do it. What would help her. And it made me wonder about that. Do you ever sense any kind of like longing, or maybe that's not the word, but from the angelic realms of like just kind of idly sitting by watching us as we fall off of cliffs and sabotage awesome relationships and do all of our things that maybe they would say, like if she would just ask, then I could step in and help?
I find them to be exasperated more often than not. And of course, they don't have human emotion. It's more like they're acting and it's fun for them. But I remember in 2011 when I finally figured out, wait, I can ask for energy to go to the store. I don't have to just lay here and die. Like I can ask. It was, at the highest of my like chronic pain and fatigue, I was like, wait, what? And they were like, oh my God, like we thought you would never ask. Like they looked like wizened and old with like beards. And of course they were just, giving me shit. But that's, they're like, they're just waiting to be supportive. Yes, like for sure. But they don't experience time, or it's more like they are having fun at our expense and with us than necessarily, that annoyed that we haven't reached out to them. But they do like to be used for sure.
Okay. And I'm not sure that all of it seems quite as dramatic to them, because our lives here must seem just a blink of an eye.
It depends, because they are so in love with the human that it would just, the amount of like heartbreak they would feel, even when a human like, missteps just a tiny bit. And it's not heartbreak the way we experience heartbreak. It's more like they know our goodness and our wholeness and our beauty, and they want the best for us, the way that any beloved observer, would want any, like maybe aunt or uncle or something like that, or godparent. And it's like they take our victories when we take our victories, and they, feel our losses when we feel our losses. And they don't experience them the way that we do, where they get like sunk into a feeling or, make it their reality, but they are able to have empathy and compassion. And some of them have even chosen to take human form to fully experience that, because they have felt that that's even more of an honor than serving in an angelic sense.
Mm.
There's an interesting passage too in the Gospel of Thomas that's attributed to Yeshua, where he says that if his largest sheep goes astray, will he leave the whole flock to go get it? And the answer is yes, absolutely, he will. And I feel that really, really applies to the angels, that they feel like humans are literally their largest sheep. And so when we choose light over dark here at this, echelon of existence, it has such a magnifying, reverberating, wrinkle butterfly effect to the higher realms, that they just delight in people serving, their weave. They just would love to help in creating that type of music. Almost like we're all in a concert. But it's up to the individual to, attribute individual qualities to individual entities or angelic beings, and that it turns into almost like canonical stuff after a while. But certainly on the intuitive end, there's lots to be intuited from they're like mirrors to us, only in an integrated form. So all the stuff you want to learn about yourself, you could obviously learn about the higher aspects too.
They also honor the human as the direct reflection of God. So from their perspective, the human is infinitely more powerful than the angels are.
It doesn't feel that way.
No. And when Tom was talking about a symphony, they were all like holding their ears, like, oh my God, you guys sound like horrid. It's like we're like a whole like preschool orchestra right now. We're doing our best.
It's fun talking about it, though. It's like I didn't really ever talk about angels or any of that stuff until I really became more aware of chemtrails, because you're observing these things and you feel absolutely individually powerless over the fact that it's happening. So why not just go for broke and appeal to, the higher aspects of the earth and the higher aspects of elements, and just say, hey, can you do anything about this? Can you help us out with like mop up on aisle 4 kind of situation?
Big time mop up every morning.